it's very hard. So,
yeah. Now, a lot of people that are going to be listening to this, they're either veterans, entrepreneurs,
right,
or both. And and a lot of them won't understand the mindset. How, like, when we were in the military, if we ever got pulled over or anybody asked for our ID, it was never our driver's license. It was always our military ID. It was who we became. And then when I got out, because I got hurt on duty, I built my whole life on being Sergeant Kaufman. And then the day I got out, I didn't know
who you were. Yeah, you didn't know who you were. Yeah,
I didn't know who Richard was, and I had to figure it out, like you said. So now a lot of people, that are going to be listening to this, like you said, are veterans or entrepreneurs. They get out, or they're gonna start a company. They're going to sell T-shirts. They're going to sell hats. And they're going to be driving a Lambo within a year. And it's not going to happen. So what do you say to these soldiers that don't have plans when they get out and they hit the streets and they're just, PFC, private freaking civilian?
Here's what I would tell them is this. Like me, for 20 years, well, damn near 20 years, most of my life, I think 18 months in, I made sergeant. So basically my whole military career, I was an NCO. So I was Sergeant Valentine. You know what I mean? So, and then you get out and you're back to Nick Valentine, and you got to figure that out. So I would tell these guys that get out, if you're going to start a company, all right, if you're going to go start a company, or if you're going to go get a 9-to-5 job, or you're going to go back to college, you need to make a plan 9 months to 12 months before you get out on what you really want to do, what you really want to, who you really want to be as that Nick Valentine versus Sergeant Valentine. You got to figure a plan out, and then you got to reach out to some people that can help you. That's why I think like this Vetrepreneur tribe is very important on Facebook, because there's 14,000 guys in there that are all veterans, but there can be some active duty guys can jump into this group and say, hey, I'm getting ready to get out. What do y'all? And then they can get all that mentorship. They can get all that. I would tell all you guys that are getting out, as soon as you get out, if you're going to start your own business, like Richard said about starting like a T-shirt company or a hat company, whatever it is, you get with your local chamber of commerce to have them help you build out the idea of it. Reach out to some veteran friends you might know, or some people in the tribe that might be able to help you with, a business plan. Because a lot of guys, they'll start an LLC or a company and not really have a business plan, not really have an agenda of how they're going to do it. They're just going to wing it. And that's why so many of those startup businesses fail, because they don't have a foundation built to help them build out. So if you're a soldier listening right now and you're getting ready to get out of the military, you got some time before you start planning what you want to do. Because you've already made a decision, you're getting out. So that's already done. So you don't have to worry about that anymore. Now you need to worry about what you're going to do. And don't count on mom and dad and your best friend or whatever and da-da-da. You need to have a plan for yourself, because it's going to jump up and bite you in the ass like immediately if you don't have a plan, because it's going to really, and it's going to sting. Guys, it's going to sting, because I started a nonprofit. I got out in 2010. I didn't start my nonprofit until 2014 because I wanted to make sure I had my my stuff together. So I went and volunteered with another nonprofit, and then got on their board of directors eventually. And then I learned kind of the in and outs of what I was doing. And then I said, okay, now I'm going to start my own. And I just stepped out and started my own. So you see, you got to have a plan. You got to have it's like an op order. You got to have that op order, and all 5 paragraphs got to be kind of in line so that you can make yourself successful. And there's people in the tribe that'll help you maybe be successful. I'd help you be successful. You reach out to me, I'll help you in any way I can. I just started my own franchise. On top of that, I just started a new franchise I'm opening. It's called Axe Monkey. I'm opening right out here inside the gates of Fort Hood to help soldiers and families have somewhere to go for fun and have a good time, and I can make a little money doing it. Great. But, it's taken me 10 years. 10 years. I've been out of the Army officially 10 years this month. So I retired in 2010, and now it's 2020. And now I'm starting my own first real franchise. I mean, I have my own companies. I got 5 companies of my own, but it's about being prepared. It's about taking your time and having people mentor you and teach you, because you're not going to know everything. You're just not, especially if you're a PFC getting out or a specialist. You might be that, that mafia specialist that was running the barracks, but you're not going to have the business knowledge you need to have because you've been a soldier for 4 or 5 years. So you're not in charge of those type of things. So you got to be patient and be ready. So just take your time, guys, and look for help. There's people that'll help you.
Okay. That's, of course, I'm really interested in this subject because it's something that Now, tell us about the conversation that Mr. and Mrs. Valentine had sitting at the kitchen table. We're like, you had to start, okay, I want to start a nonprofit. Because I find that, and I tell my family, if everything is good at home, life is 80% easy if everything is good at home. If you don't have to worry about what's going on in your household, if relationship wise, right. I'm talking about, you can figure everything else out. But your partner has to be on board with your with what you're doing. So what was that conversation like with Mr. and Mrs.
Actually, to be honest with you, Rich, I think the biggest thing for me and my wife saw in my eyes that I needed this. You know what I mean? And my wife is my battle buddy. She's my partner. She's going to be there for me no matter. And so she was all on board. She is my executive assistant here at the charity. She's my right hand here at the charity. I included her 100% in what I was doing. And I think that brought us closer too, because she can really see my passion about taking care of soldiers and veterans. And she can really see, so she does just as hard a work as I do, making sure things are right. I think what Rich was alluding to, guys, is this. If you have a life partner, I don't care what, if you have a partner in your life who's significant to you, you need to make sure that person is included in whatever you're doing so they feel like they're a part of it with you. So they're going to support you. They're going to go that extra step for you. And your relationship with that person is just going to get stronger. And that's going to help you that you're not in the military anymore. You don't have that kind of that safety net anymore. You know what I mean? Because the military was a big safety net for most of us. Well, you're in for a little while, you realize the medical, you realize that you take it for granted, but then when you get out, you realize, holy crap, I really had a safety net with the military. My medical was covered, my dental was covered, my everything, So including your significant other, spouse, partner, whatever, in your decisions is it's detrimental to your relationship if you don't do it. So like Rich said, you got to have that sit down conversation with your significant other and spouse, whatever, and say, hey, look, this is what I want to do. What do you think? Give me your input. And then you need to honestly hear them out and listen to their side of it. Because they might say, well, nah, honey, I don't know, blah, blah, blah. But you need to hear that, because sometimes the hard, honest truth is the most important conversation you'll have. It might hurt, but it's going to make the impact. It's going to make you successful. So listen to your spouse or your significant other, because it's important.
No, that sounds great. I couldn't put it any better. Now, since you've been around the game a while, you've been out 10 years, you have 5 companies. What are some of the mistakes that you see that veterans that come out and start t-shirt businesses, coffee business, whatever? What are some of the biggest mistakes that